separate business because I do things with Jeannie.
Uh-huh.
So is this something I can do, combine everything? I'm sure you can go over it, but that's kind of my main question.
Absolutely. Well, basically, I call the 508 is our Ruth. It's like our Ruth, who is your daddy, who's our covering. We hear it in church all the time, right? Who's your covering? Have you heard that, Jeannie, a gazillion times? When I first moved to Hawaii and first like really started going to church and all, people would ask me, who's your covering? Does that make sense as a Christian? Do you know what I'm talking about? Can anybody
Are you
answer?
asking me or Lisa?
You guys, I just want to see if
Sorry,
anybody
my dog
knows.
is barking, so I put myself on mute.
Oh no, that's okay. If you guys can
close the
participate,
door.
if you guys want to participate, I love it because I feel like everybody grows from every single question. And I've been at this for about 15 years studying, so there's no stupid question. Literally, because it's like we've all been deceived. The world, the Bible says, in the end, the whole world would be deceived, if except the very elect, if it were possible. And if you guys are here and you're really resonating with anything that we say, if you've never even heard about this, but it all makes sense, then you're one of the very elect because you're now being raptured out of the world in consciousness, that you're no longer going to keep looking at things the same anymore, because nothing will look the same anymore. I guarantee that. So, who's got any questions? Janet, Richard, Pamela, Brad, anybody got any? Oh, I love your dog, Lisa. Is he golden?
I'm sorry, we were out all day on a 2-hour bike ride and
Is
we
he
just came home.
golden retriever?
Yeah, but she's a cream colored golden retriever.
Oh, she's beautiful.
She's a puppy, so
I'm so jealous. I want one. I love my dog, but he's 14 and he just sleeps all the time now. So I'm kind of just sit around.
Well, puppies are a lot of work.
Yeah, I know, but they are so much fun, especially when you get to go all through their whole life with them. You know what I mean?
Exactly. She's
Yeah.
laying next. We have a 10-year-old also, and she's laying next to her now, so maybe she'll stop barking.
All right.
Okay, well, I think we should get started. There might be a few more people coming in, but I'm going to get
Okay.
started and I'm going to start the
Well,
recording
maybe just go ahead and introduce me after you start the recorder. Then I'll kind of give a little bit of my testimony. I'll try to keep it brief about like my history of how I ended up in this ministry and made it my lifelong mission in ministry. And then we'll go talk specifically about 508 and then we'll do Q&A. Does that sound good?
Perfect.
Okay.
Okay, I'll start the recording now. Thank you.
Uh-huh.
Let's see, I'll call it 508.
So I'm doing a panel, you guys. There's my panel. You guys are watching on YouTube,
Okay.
and they're on a new panel, which I'm going to check out called Our Link, and we're going to learn how to do it together, Jeannie and I, and become experts. So, all right, let's go. All right.
Okay, well, welcome everyone. Thank you for the call. This is a very special call. I'm going to introduce you to my friend Ahava right here in Honolulu, Hawaii. We've been friends for, I think, 6 or 7 years. We entered into the crypto space quite a while ago, and then I first heard about the 508 back then. So it was very intriguing to me, and I've been wanting one ever since. And now, since several of my friends have one set up, and I'm in the process of having mine set up. So what you're gonna expect to hear today is Ahava's going to share a little bit about her expertise, how she came to finding out about the 508, and why she is spending her time on a mission to share it with other people. So take it away, Ahava. We're really thankful that you're here with us today.
Oh, well, thank you. I'm glad to be here with you guys. Thank you. So I wanted to just share, Jeannie and I have been friends for a long time. She lives completely on the opposite side of the island, so we don't get together physically as much as I'd like, but you know, she gets to live on the other side over there by the crater, and I'm over here on the west side of the island. But so give you a little bit of background, guys. First of all, welcome and thank you for coming. I am a pastor on the island. I've been doing ministry for 22 years on Oahu. I moved here in 2003 with my husband and family. Immediately got a job at the Fish radio station, which is the Christian radio station here. And I started watching people. We came here for a new start, my husband and myself. We had 2 little kids and one on the way. I got hired at the Fish radio station 95.5. started going to Bible school at night. I earned a master's degree in theology. And then I had the pleasure and privilege of meeting my mentor, who's taught me common law, ecclesiastical law, divine law, which is, his name is Maury Bay. He's kind of like my spiritual father. I grew up, my real dad chose to go to law school and became a bar attorney. And I worked in his law firm from the time I was about 16 years old to the summers graduating college, and even after college, to probably 23, 24 years old, to earn money for college. So I got to see what 17 lawyers from the age of 16 to mid-20s were like, and what their job was like, and what they did, and how the system worked. And I got to interface with judges and so forth. So I had a bird's eye view, I guess you could say, of how the system works, or at least from the legal side of things. And I wasn't really, I'll just be honest, as a Christian now and as a young person, I wasn't that impressed. I found out that what we call the law really isn't the law at all. Legal system is not law. It's statutes and codes, much like a Monopoly game, or a set of rules that, under a corporate fiction identity, which is what our country got turned into, a corporate fiction, we all got turned into something else, which is called the unlegious trust. Do you guys ever notice how everything that ever comes in your letterbox, your mailbox, has all capitals on it? Jeannie, if you pull out like your driver's license, your social security number, everything you guys ever identify with has an all capital name. Is that correct? Is everybody like clear on that, or does nobody know what I'm talking about? Is there any questions?
Yes. Everything, passport, your deeds to your house, everything, your driver's license.
Right. So I just want to make sure, because I don't know if these people are brand new or like they've been studying a little bit, because like in my world, I have people from baby beginners who they're still like, they've never heard of any of this. And then there's people who've been studying for years that are more knowledgeable than I am. And I just love meeting those people, but they're like diamonds out there to find those people. So anyway, I started realizing, okay, everything's completely upside down, just as the Bible says, right? We ended up in this doctrine, which they call doctrine of devils, and they say the devil is in the details, right? Or lawyers are liars. You probably heard that one before. But when you become a bar attorney, you're swearing an oath to the realm, which is the Vatican, the Queen of England, but it is not to what we call America, the United States of America. The original organic constitution that we all still believe is out there flourishing actually was changed, and it was turned into a corporation, which made all of us, after the 14th Amendment, legally dead. So this is why when Jesus said, the dead in Christ will rise first. That's everybody. We're all dead in Christ, because our legal, what we're identifying in the world, is a dead fiction system. It has nothing to do with life. It has nothing to do with blood. Has nothing to do with people. It was actually created, it's maritime admiralty law. So if we're going into a court situation for a traffic ticket or foreclosure of a house or whatever, it could be a legal issue, and they state what you think is your name, and you say here or present, you're claiming to be in it's called adhesion contracts with the legal person. God also says he's no respecter of persons. Is he not, Jeannie? You know that. God is no respecter of persons. Well, I didn't know this. I mean, I was 40 years old before I started studying all this. I'm 62 now. But I've known like my whole life, like I said, working in my dad's law firm, that the legal system wasn't for the people. It's definitely for the corporations, the politicians, the big companies, but for the little people, all of us on this line, it's not for us. So when I found that all out, it was kind of like relief, because I knew I wasn't crazy now, because I knew since I was a kid, and I was kind of rebellious against everything because I just saw through it all. But then I felt powerless as a young person, like there's nothing we can do to change the system, which is not true. But people perish Hosea 4:6 is my second favorite scripture. People are destroyed for lack of knowledge. So I got busy, Jeannie knows, back in the day, I had my first ministry in Hawaii, it was like 15 years ago. It was called He Reigns. And I've been very prophetic my whole life. I was blessed with a lot of insight, intuition. People have labeled me. I've literally been labeled everything from an apostle to an evangelist to a prophet. I mean, everything. But honestly, I have a very deep prophetic intuitive insight. I've always have. That's how come I saw through the whole system in the first place and so forth. So then I was blessed. If you guys know that book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Everybody knows that book, right? Robert Kiyosaki, right? Remember how he said his real dad went to school, was a very well-educated man, but he didn't have any money. And his other dad, like the guy who was like teaching him how to do business, had all the money, but wasn't as well, quote, educated, right? So that is absolutely true. So my dad decided he wanted to go to law school to better his family. He didn't have any idea how the system really worked, because none of us do. And he went to the law school, earned the whole thing. And then they ask you to pass the bar exam. This is where you get in trouble. The bar exam is the British accredited registry. It's registering you into the realm. So every esquire, every bar attorney in America is not for the people. It's for the Queen of England. We've never really been free, you guys. It's all kind of like, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but since you guys want to go into the land of the private and get free of all the illusion and delusion, I might as well just start with that, because you got to understand all this. If you don't get all this, or you don't want to get it, and I get it, I didn't want to get it at first either, because it's painful that we've been lied to our whole life. But the Bible did tell us that. You know, it told us we were going to be deceived, and we have been hugely. So who are we? The Bible says if we seek out a matter, first of all, if we seek him, we will find him. So at 40, I went on this huge mission, went to Bible school at age 40, got a master's degree in theology. I went every Tuesday night, drove from Eva Beach, where I live in Hawaii, across the island from Jeannie. And I drove to Honolulu, went to Word of Life, got a master's degree. And then I met my friend Maury Bay. And this is where the Rich Dad Poor Dad came thinking. My father actually was pretty affluent when he was alive, because he liked to play. He had very wealthy friends, and he liked the whole game of being a bar attorney. I hated it. It caused a lot of friction between me and my dad, because I loved him, but I hated his profession. But when I was 40, right after Bible school, and started studying Bible school, I met my friend Maury about 15 years ago. Jeannie knows Maury. Excuse me. Maury went to law school. So he got his degree in law and political science. So he's got all the same undergrad training as my dad, but he didn't take the bar, because he knew if you swear the oath to the realm, I mean, it's like pretty serious. Like, these guys will threaten you with hundreds of thousands of dollars of fines if you cross them and you take the oath, or they'll kill you. I mean, there's just stuff that, you know, they don't mess around. It's a very serious thing in their realm. So Maury decided, I don't want to pay homage to that side. I don't want to serve the dark side. I want to be honest. I want to help people stand in their lawful, legal, adult, spiritual adult capacity. So I'm like, well, here's my dad, the bar attorney. I know nothing growing up of anything. And then Maury starts teaching me all this. Come on in. And so I learn all of this, and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's all true. So that's where the 508 comes in, because, you know, I went to Bible school, got a master's degree. I really wanted to have a church or a ministry, but I didn't want to just get up on a Sunday and preach at people. I wanted to do, honestly, more like life coaching. I really like one-on-one coaching. I like helping people. I like seeing people grow. I like seeing them hit milestones. So we set up, when I found out about this 508, we set up my ministry here on Oahu. It's called The True Vine. We've been operating since 2018. I set it up. I was probably one of the first 508s on the island. Now there's quite a few, because I've set them all up. But now the whole goal is really, it was like thinking about it, even with the Kingdom of Hawaii issues. He says seek him first, and he wants every need about, right? And this isn't about religion. This is just about covenant with doing righteousness. The word of God is actually a contract. Nobody ever explained this to me like this before. It's a contract. I will take care of these things for you if you abide in me and take care of these parts of the agreement, right? But if you go off just doing whatever you want, you can do that, but you're going to suffer the consequences, right? Because I'm not going to help you. So when we got stuck in the fiction system, which is social insurance number, what's an acronym for social insurance number? The sin system, right? We're in sin. Get it, guys? It's kind of funny. So we're in the sin system, which, by the way, sin just means missing the mark, which we did because we signed up in the wrong jurisdiction. Because when mom went in to have her baby, she signed a certificate of live birth, and I bet you guys can all search your birth records and all that, your birth certificates, and find somewhere a certificate of live birth. So you didn't come in being dead, did you? No. You were born a living, breathing offspring. You have to change the wording because legalese turns everything of God's words and God's creations into something else. So you guys are going to get more than 508 education. You're going to understand the Bible like so God made easy for spiritual dummies. It's like I'm going to do a Cliff Notes book about it because once I started getting all of this, all of a sudden the Bible started making total sense. Oh, we're in the wrong jurisdiction. You have to, Jesus came because we had to bring the dead back to life. Well, we all were made dead in the system, right? Because when we're born, they pluck us into the sin system. They give us that mark of the beast, social security number, the sin number, right? SIN. And then it's kind of like, I guess the best way to explain this is like one of my mentors explained, it wasn't Maury, it was another person, but it was excellent. If you grew up on the East Coast or you ever go somewhere it's cold, right? You have a nice coat, you go to a restaurant, what do you do with the coat usually? You coat check it, right? And what do? They give you a little tag that after dinner you go and turn in the coat check and they give you your property back, correct? Okay, so Jeannie understands what I'm talking about. So when we have a baby, we go into the hospital, which is a ward. I didn't know this until after I started studying all this stuff too. A ward of the state. So we go into the ward of the state, not knowing it's a ward of the state. We think it's a hospitality. It's to have the baby, right? You have the baby. The baby is delivered, and then it is docked. How it comes through delivery, it's all maritime admiralty. It's birthing through water. It comes through water, right? The birth canal, right? So then the baby's delivered, and now they have to give the baby some kind of identification while mom's still in the hospital. So they have that certificate of live birth. What they fail to ever tell you guys, or any of us, is that certificate of live birth then is docked, like docket in legalese, they call it docket. You're going to dock it, which means you're going to file the stuff away, right? So basically every U.S. citizen birth certificate is warehouse receipt for all of us, the living heirs. We are the creditors of this country, not the debtors. The people born in the country are the living heirs of the land. We are not debtors. We are creditors. But somehow through the legalese and the 14th Amendment switcheroony where they tricked everybody and said, oh, we're going to turn all the people that, were in the war, we're going to turn everybody to free people. It was the biggest deception in the world. What they did was take all the living men and women of America and turned everybody into a debt fiction slave without anybody even knowing what's going on. So the bankers and the lawyers, shame on them because these guys literally they practice witchcraft because everything they do, they're even allowed to lie in their code. It's like part of the realm. You're allowed to lie in the courtroom. So we're all naive. We all think that going into any court is for constitutional courts. No, that's Article 3 court. We haven't had Article 3 courts forever. We have corporations, and you're dead. You don't have a voice. When you give up and you hire an attorney for anything, now you're definitely telling them, I'm ignorant, I don't know who I am, and I have no rights. So can dead people inherit property? Question. No. So do we really own anything in our dead fiction corporation status? that we think we own. Oh, I own this car, I own this house, all this stuff we think we own. We don't own anything. We don't even own us. Until we become born again, set free, redeemed, and that's why they call, when you come in, it's a UCC package. They call it a Uniform Commercial Code package, and everything goes through Uniform Commercial Code, which is Admiralty Maritime Law, moving things on the water. Okay, what does the Bible all talk about? Getting back to where? The promised land. Right? The promised land jurisdiction. So my friend JC showed up, so I'm going to take Q&A and we're going to have him come in a little bit here. But his whole thing, he died. He literally had a near-death experience, an accident he's going to tell you guys about in a little bit. But when I met him, he's been helping people, coaching them with this amazing spiritual healing protocols that he's been doing for many years. But unless you have a 508, you're still stuck in the world. You're not in the right jurisdiction. So as long as your passport, your driver's license, your birth certificate, everything's all caps, and you haven't even attempted to correct it and go, whoa, I'm not dead, I'm surely alive. Just like God said, right? God's not dead, and neither are you. If you've got breath and blood, you are still an animated spirit, a living spirit, having a avatar kind of flesh, temple experience, but your spirit is still alive, and all the things that you thought you owned, you didn't own. The whole goal is to get into stewardship. We want to own nothing, like the Rockefellers and the Rothschilds. Own nothing, control everything, right? That's the name of the game. So what I do with our whole ministry, it's really coaching people how to level up in every area of their life. Jeannie is she's my nutritional coach, right? I go to her for what do you do for your health? She's the one, right? People come to us when they have trust issues, like they want to get all of their property, all their cars, all their house, all their children's birth certificates, everything with any kind of number on it. You want to claim it, put it on a UCC document, and put it in your trust. So I'm going to share with you I'm going to give you a little description. This is my ministry, and it's filed with the DCCA. You guys can all see that, right? And it says, okay, so my name is the True Vine. That's my 508. You guys can look it up under the DCCA in Hawaii, and this is exactly what it says in there. And this is your covering. When we talk about covering, if you're a 501c3 church, you're not covered. You're under Satan, the Baal worship church, because you have to still ask permission. You are not free in Christ's jurisdiction. So all the big 501c3 cattle car churches, and there's many of them out there, they're deceived. They don't know. So let me read you the description. So the purpose of my personal 508, I doctored this up a lot, but most of this is the exact cut and paste off the IRS Title 26 description of what a 508 c1A is. So I'm going to read it to you guys, because I don't think you can you can't really see it. You're not going to be able to read it from me holding it up. So it says, 508 we are a 508 eleemosynary. You can look up that word. It's ELEEMOSYNARY, or the word ecclesia, 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 or ecclesiastical ministry or assembly. Okay. The True Vine is a 508 c1A faith-based organization, is a religious, nonprofit, tax-exempt organization. The 508 c1A, or an FBO, faith-based organization, it's called an FBO, is separate and distinct from a 501c3, charity and unincorporated FBOs. The 508c1A is applicable in all 50 states and recognized internationally under the Hague Convention of the United States Charter since its inception in 1954 with the Johnson Amendment. The 501c3 has been promoted and advertised as many as the only option to organize a faith-based organization. So when I first moved to Hawaii and I went to Bible school and I wanted to start a church, everybody and their brother was telling me you need to get a 501c3. And then by the grace of the living God, I met Maury, and he said that would be the last thing you want to get if you want to serve Yahuwah, Yahshua, Jesus Christ. Because otherwise, you might have a hybrid of state / some scripture, but it's not serving Christ. It's more serving the state, their mandates, their regulations, their rules. Does that make sense? Is everybody, okay, everybody thumbs up so far? Okay. So then it goes on. So you might want to Google search 1954 with the Johnson Amendment. That's that is to keep the separation of church and state. And I would say with the way the world is going now, so important that we start educating people. Like, I've had visions from the Lord saying, get moms against the madness going. Because literally the deception started when Eve, woman, entered into sin in the hospital, right? Signing that certificate, and the rest of our life we're followed around by the straw man dead entity that's running our dang life. And we want to be free to do what he calls us to do, to serve people, right? Not having to put money into tax things that we totally don't even believe in or support and we don't even want, right? That's paying to destroy yourself. Don't you agree? Like genocide ourselves. That's insane. So when we grow up, we come of knowledge, we get the wisdom, you ascend right out of the consciousness, and that's what JC's going to talk to you about, and that's what, when we met, it's really helpful to get people into this timelessness state so that they can start thinking about things here differently and get back into their divine purpose for their life, because life goes by quick, you guys. Jeannie and I are, she's a little bit younger than I am, but man, it's just like so much time, has gone by, but it's like, it seems like really quick, but at the same time, it seems long. And, I would love to go hang out with her and have more fun with her, just be able to go see her. But with our life and taxes and all the things we have to take care of in the world matrix, we don't really have time to do the things we want to do. But when we all work together in God's community, in JC's new church that we helped him get together is back to Eden, back to the beginning. He's going to tell you all about it. So let me finish with just this so we can get on to questions, and then we'll see where we're at with everything. Okay, so the Johnson Amendment was, the whole point of that was, if we didn't have that put back in 1950s, it was 1954, we could have already been completely like it is today, more communist type, socialist type of world, because they had to keep the separation of church and state. So it's really important. The 501c3 has been promoted and advertised as the only option, but that's a lie. This is fatally incorrect. Federal law, IRS publications, and court cases all confirm and establish the rights and protection of the 508 c1A faith-based organization. 508c enjoys get this guys, this is really important, mandatory exemption. It's a mandatory it's a mandatory exception from all the restrictions of the 501c3 faith-based organization has, including free speech restrictions, IRS reporting requirements, rules and regulations that the IRS from time to time prescribe, and providing testimony under oath. In other words, you don't have your freedom of religion restricted, or of speech restricted under a 508. If I had a 501c3 church, say I grew like to, like Word of Life size or something, you're not supposed to talk about politics, you're not supposed to introduce candidates, which makes no sense because the whole Bible is all about how to live, right? But you're not supposed to talk about anything, so what can you talk about, right? It's a totally, the 501c3 muzzles the pastors. The 508 rips the Band-Aid off and puts them back into proper jurisdiction. So that's it. So I've had mine, it says like here, since 2018. My husband, he retired when COVID started, And the last year of his working, he made a lot of money, the most money he had ever really made in his life. And we were gonna have to pay $30,000 in taxes, which we never had to pay taxes. We always got taxes back. And it was a $10,000 increase. It was now gonna cost us to have to pay, which made no sense either. But he donates money to my ministry all the time so I can function. So we did the write-off of like the space, just like you are with the CPA with writing off business expenses. I use my entire house for ministry. Back porches, front porches, living room area. People are here every day for all kinds of stuff. So we took the whole house basically, and I have people come for what do I call it? It's transformation vacations. They come here for a week or a month. They hang out with us. They go to our Saturday Sabbath service. I teach them all of the passport stuff, the secure party stuff, the 508. They go home completely like, oh my God, you just transform my world. So we can do that. That's really fun. But I like to work with people too online. We meet once a week. And Jeannie just wanted this to be kind of an overview of all the benefits and the things that you get to do in the 508, which is really like everything. You can do anything that any free person in the world can do. It's amazing. There is one mandatory meeting per year that your board has to have with all your mission of what you're doing throughout the year. I don't recommend that. I have I'm always doing ministry, so I have like a weekly, like put in all my minutes, what's going on, and whoever's in the board, from the board or whatever, we sign off and keep good records. Like you guys, I'm going to show my phone here. Like this is the book. This is all the minutes. I mean, this is just, I keep records of everything. And I'm going to show you guys, and I'm going to turn this around for a second, show you guys. Like that is just the book of all our ministry stuff. That's just a case right there of 7 months of work. I've been helping one of the young ladies who's a member of our ministry who needed legal work. So I literally did her UCCs for her. We got all her property on her attachment A, which is once you get the trust done, then there's a second part of putting all your property into the trust. And then the final thing is we put the UCC, the Uniform Commercial Code, we put all the property listed in, and we inform the state at the Bureau of Conveyances in Hawaii, but in other states it's just your county recorder. And now your whole identity has changed. Like you're literally walking like a free man on the land, and it's just a beautiful thing. So does anybody have questions? You guys can all unmute.
Ahava, are you saying that 508 C like cat IA?
C1A.
C1, not CIA.
No,
C1.
no, not CIA, C1A. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. So it takes, I have to get an EIN for it. It's an irrevocable trust. We set up the 508. It takes like a day. Just need to get your beneficiaries, your trustees, your successor trustee. Then after that, we're going to work on the attachment letter, which is you've got to get all of your documents together, your birth certificate numbers, of your kids, yourself, your family, your cars, your VIN number, your tie, everything with numbers goes in that property list. And then finally, then the last thing, it's like I can teach you guys in 3 weeks, we can be done and have everything to go file for 508. So that's pretty much 508 in a nutshell. There's other processes that we do that I recommend, that I've done a lot of stuff over the years. I've got secure party creditor. I have like 99 pages of me taking back all my stuff in a UCC filing outside of just the 508. It's called a hold harmless security agreement. There's lots of other stuff. You don't have to do that if you're a minister and you really are at the point all you want to do is serve God, and that's your main focus, and it's like your whole life's about that. You don't need all that other stuff. It's good to have, but it's not necessarily. If you follow the outline of the simple rules of the 508 and comply with what you're supposed to do, it's really a nice life. I've had zero problems with any of our students over the years. Nobody's had any issues with the state, the IRS, or anything, myself included, or my husband. And when he did write the 30,000, he kicked me as we were leaving H&R Block, and he goes, "Oh my God, I'm gonna get in trouble." I'm like, "Kelly, it's all lawful." And he now is like 5 years later, like, "Oh yeah, we know." It's like, great. So I just, I know it's really hard for people to fathom. A lot of this information is new. They've never heard the truth of like how the country was literally hoodwinked, how they took all our property, how they turned every single person into the straw man fiction entity. But it's up to us to resurrect, to get born again, set free, and redeem ourselves. Jesus isn't going to do it for us. He told us this. If I can figure this out, and I'm not the smartest, I mean, I'm not stupid, but if I can figure this out, I'm a housewife, a mom, and somebody. But the thing is, I'm going to tell you the truth. It's because I saw from my own eyes the legal system was just, when I was growing up. But then it was like when I met Maury and I said, oh, there's this whole other way, and it's like Jesus said, come here, follow me. There's another way, right? So why would we want to go with their way that makes us miserable, that we never even signed up for? We weren't privy to the contract that mom signed, the certificate of live birth. We were babies, we were infants. We had no consciousness to even know what the heck's going on. But the thing is, they didn't ever tell our mothers either. They never disclosed any of the, I mean, I've had 3 kids. Nobody at the hospital ever informed me. I had no informed consent on anything. But here, 20 years later, studying all this stuff, now I go to court, just so you guys will know, I won't pay into, I just won't do it. So I believe I pay for him, that's it. So I drive around with my old tags, but I got a DOT, it's a Department of Transportation number under the 508, but I still haven't put new tags on with that number. I just carry the paperwork in the car. But I've gotten pulled over twice. One time I did have to go to court. Maury was in the back with a big Cheshire grin on his face because I had to say 2 lines and they were like, case dismissed, all charges dropped. And it was all because I had the car in the 508 and I knew how to identify myself in the court. Because when you know who you are, you're not afraid anymore. You just see it as a game and you're like the best attorney and you always win. It's like, that's the truth. So I think that's enough of my share today. If you guys have any more questions.
Ahava, how would someone get started with the 508, like from start to finish? How long? How much does it cost? And does everybody qualify? Or is there anyone that's disqualified? What about different religions?
I won't work with somebody if they call me and say, oh, my religion is Satanism. No, sorry, go somewhere else. I'm not going to help you. It doesn't have to necessarily be exactly what I believe, but they have to have the maxims of law, the golden rule, do no harm. If I'm convinced that somebody, like, I'm not real picky on the individual, religion, because even my own husband doesn't even understand why I do church on the Sabbath, because the Bible says don't forget the Sabbath. So I do that. It's not because I want to be Jewish. It's just I want to do what Yeshua did. That's it. It's really simple. People ask me all the time, like, we have a church, and they ask us, what religion are you? I'm like, we're not a religion. We're a relationship with the Most High God and His Son. And you're a son and daughter too. You just forgot who you are. But we can show you how to reclaim your name, understand who you are, get your self-esteem back, hook up with these most amazing people that are all coming back to life because now they're excited because their whole world just changed. So I think, it's a beautiful thing. Plus, the 508s can own LLCs and businesses. So like for Janie's a Numi rep. So she can make her trust name, tell Numi, I am no longer wanting to receive funds in my name. I am setting it up for my trust. So then the trust owns it, she doesn't, and that's it. So it's pretty.
So we don't have to file taxes at all. Like there's nothing we need to file.
Well, you don't own it, right? If you're donating all your money to fund your ministry, to do your health journey and teach and just do your ministry, you're not working for the world anymore. You're not doing business. You're working for God. You're using that as a fundraiser, but it's donated to your ministry trust so you can do ministry while you're on this planet. And it's not literally necessarily for you to do, it's for your beneficiaries, which could be your children. And so I've setting up trust under trust layers so that they can all choose. They can have a world job and and if you donate your check to your trust, you get a 49% tax write-off automatically. And then you can figure out your other tax write-offs with the 51%. But if you're doing full-time ministry, like, right, you can donate your whole entire, whatever this income stream is to the ministry to support so you can do the ministry. So that's, yeah, and then the trust is just a nice thing. It's under God's jurisdiction. It's not a world jurisdiction trust. It's all private. So, so basically, first things first, it's 1,500. It includes not just the trust, it's gonna be all the additional coaching. I'm gonna do this every Sunday. Overview, you guys can bring your friends, anybody who might want, because I think legacy building is really, really important. So teaching your children, especially when they're young, like Jeannie's son is, like, if he learns this now,
Yes.
whoa, wow, you know?
Yeah,
And
it'll
so,
be life changing. I
life
can't even
ch-
imagine the amount of money I've spent in taxes in 56 years.
well,
Janet
that's
asked-
another thing, and we'll talk
Well,
about that
not
later.
anymore.
Well, no, all the money you ever paid in taxes, it's called the Treasury Direct. And there's also that Sedicate test. We're learning how to get into the credits, but I don't even want to talk about that today because we're not there yet, but I have 4 or 5 people who are that close, right, to breaking into it. One guy already got a $6 million from his Treasury Direct, from his Social Security bonds. So, but we'll talk about all that later.
that's more
I'm still, and I'm not an expert on that. I have other people who are way more educated in that. I'm just, after doing 508s for so long, I can eat, breathe, and sleep, and I know it's where I'm supposed to be. And just for
Well,
all
it's
you
the
guys,
first step.
exactly.
Can you see the chat, or do you want me to read the question?
Oh, yeah, read the question. I can't see
Okay.
the chat.
Is it possible to put cars with a bank loan and a home with a mortgage in the trust?
You can go ahead and claim the property. You'll still get, unless we discharge the debt, which again, that's a different class, not today. It's still not gonna, it's only gonna own the equity that's paid off so far. Okay, but it will own the equity that's paid off so far. But once, there's other processes in the future that we can help you with, but like, again, not today. But yes, everything can go in the trust. Kids' birth certificates, take picture of jewelry, coin collections. I was doing 7K for years. I have a huge silver collection. That's all in my trust. I don't have anything in my name. I don't even have a bank account in my legal name anymore because the legal person is dead. I have a trust and I have a 508 church ministry account, which is kind of like, for me, because I'm running around doing ministry stuff all the time, I use the church ministry and the ATM for that. If I'm going to go, say, visit somebody at the hospital or go teach a class and this kind of stuff, the gas is paid for through the church because this is my ministry, so it goes out of there. It doesn't come out of the trust. But the
And
trust,
your crypto as well?
you can do the crypto too, and there's another thing that we'll talk about. I have a little thing I'll talk to you privately about crypto that I want to share, but we'll talk, that you can put it, it's like a special place. But not today, we'll do that later too.
Well, because I first heard about this in the crypto business. And whenever that was 6 years ago, and they were charging $10,000 to set up a 508 c1A, and the guy's now passed away. I think you were there.
Oh,
you
yeah,
heard
yeah, isn't that where we first met, right?
Yeah.
With
I
Maury.
think it was at
Yeah,
that
no, there's
seminar.
people, I met a lady who called me, and when I told her we did this for 15, she goes, I just paid $50,000.
How much?
50,000.
50.
Yeah, so I said, buyer beware. Maury went to law school. I have every eligible or, legitimate people who are teaching. We've already bought processes. Cowie bought his advocates. He's got Turner Van Eel, I think is his name. He's from the Moors. Then Maury wrote his own trust. We've got, just so many different things, but we've morphed and made all these different processes. So we have secure party. That's a whole nother, like I said, there's 19 documents in there. Then there's the getting your credit stuff. That'll be way down the road. But if you guys just want to get into the private, the quickest way to do it is work on getting your 508 established as quick as possible, transfer all your assets so at least it's safe in that. And then we'll work on passport, should probably be right next thing you do, and then secure party. And you can take your time. It's like, there's no hurry. Once you've paid the 1,500, you can call me anytime, or Maury or our group, and come on these classes. We'll do once a week. And it's really for 508. It's one day. Once we get your EIN, I can get your trust done to you, scan it over to you. You're gonna print it out, go get it notarized. As soon as it's notarized, the next step is we're gonna finish that attachment A. Then we're gonna get, the last thing is put all of that information on the UCC, file it, and you're done, and you're gonna make books, just like I showed you I have in the 3-ring binders. I have 3 sets of books. I keep it for one in my car, one at my house, and one at my son's house in case of a fire or a theft or whatever. This is like your Bible of your identity, right? So it's real simple. So any more questions? And I was gonna see if JC, do you mind coming? Do you guys wanna?
I'm gonna end the recording though.
Oh, you might want to record there for JC just because it's going to be
Oh,
juicy. I
okay,
mean,
if that's
you
okay
can
with
end
them.
this one and start another one if you want. It's fine. But he's got a testimony, guys. I guarantee you've never heard this kind of testimony. I've heard one guy at Pastor Si's church who died, literally died. It was a crazy story. But JC's story is pretty crazy too. So with that, I'm going to and you guys, oh, can I give him my phone number?
Yes.
Okay.
I could give it to them privately.
Okay, yes, and you
who
can
wants it, message me back, and I will send you Ahava's contact information, and then from this point forward, you'll be dealing with her
Yeah.
exclusively.
Yes. Okay, well, guys, I want to introduce you my dear friend, JC Gordon. I'm going to record him on my phone too. Hang on, JC. Let's push this out of your way. That out of your way, and then you can have the floor.
Okay.
There
Aloha.
you go. All
How is
right.
everyone today?
Good. Thank
Yeah.
you for sharing your testimony
Um,
with us. I look forward to hearing about it.
My pleasure. And so you now have all the information about your 508, right?
Yes.
Well, a
Excellent.
preview.
Excellent. And
Mine's in process. I'm excited.
beautiful. I know that as we roll forward with the Church of Eden, the
Well,
508 is
They
really,
don't know
really
about the
important.
Church of
They
Eden
don't know
yet.
about the
No,
Church of
I
Eden.
have just told him that we set you up a trust with the Church of Eden, and that we are totally with you to just tell them the whole thing, because they may be really interested in doing
Well, I'm
it.
an ex-banker.
There you got their attention.
I'm a financial analyst. I used to, I grew up as left-brained as one possibly could be. You know, I had beautiful parents. I'm an only child, and I was taught success was monetary. Okay, I was able to achieve that. I used to manage a couple $100 million with my brokerage firm. I sold that, papered it in 92 and completed it in 93. And it was about 2 years after that that I had my experience where I had a chainsaw kick back on me and go through my throat. And as a result of that, I literally died. I died about an hour later on the emergency room table. And when that happened, it literally took me into the very... Now, I tell everybody that, my birth certificate says I'm this old, but that's not true, because it's that old, but it's less 3 minutes, because in time I was dead 3 minutes. And during that 3 minutes, I went into the awareness of everything that timelessness is. So, I have to say, I didn't want to come back. I didn't want to come back because of what it felt like. And what it felt like. I've written a dozen books about this, and I've traveled the world talking about it. But I call it euphoria, love, laughter, and abundance. Okay, and that's what I didn't want to leave. And I literally went into the essence of the mindset of infinite intelligence, of source, of God. I was actually in the pre-planning stages before time and timelessness began, and was in and led up to when time, as we know it, morphs into timelessness. And so our universe represents only one universe or one cell in the divine body of all the parallel universes or multiverse body. And our universe is actually the only universe that is not the divine. In other words, that is not that light, that is not that euphoria, that is not that love, that is not that laughter, that is not the abundance. And that's all been by design. One thing that I can definitely say as a result of my experience is that nothing in life happens by chance. Nothing absolutely happens by chance. Everything happens a predestined way that it's supposed to happen. And you know, I'm constantly just dumbfounded by the magnitude of what the great thought is, what the great consciousness of source is, which was every thought, everywhere, at every time, every place, instantly put in place. And so what I found that during that 3 minutes that I was in timelessness, that totality of timelessness, is that we all have a mind, and our minds are basically like a receiver, like an antenna. And what that antenna does, our minds are nothing more than a processor of information. We have two mindsets within us. We have an outside mindset and we have an inside mindset. Now, the outside mindset is everything that we see, okay? It brings in a vibration, a frequency that creates a reality within our brains, okay? Not only from what we see, but the energy, predominant energy from the outside of that of fear and chaos, okay? And that fear and chaos has literally brought humanity to the exact point that we're at right now. But I didn't want to leave my experience, okay? I knew that where I was where I was supposed to be. There was nothing better. That was like the peak of everything, the peak of life. And I remember when my experience ended, I was literally having, everything was telepathic, but I was having like a wrestling match almost with Source, and I was saying, it told me telepathically that I had to leave, and I was saying, no, I don't want to leave. You have to leave. No, I don't want to leave. You have to leave. And then what it did was its presence, its warmth that I was enveloped by, like literally I could just feel it just leaving me, and I can remember that very moment, and I'm thinking, well, I guess I gotta go back now. So I when I came back, I literally came back the opposite way that I got into myself and went into the timelessness. And I can remember coming down into my body. I went beside my body and literally just went into my body. And the minute that I went into my body, I opened up my eyes, and the physician was right there. He was a locum who stitched me up. He just so calmly said, "Oh, okay, it's okay. He's back now." And that was, you know, during that 3 minutes that I was, quote, dead, I went into the totality of everything that timelessness is, that everything is everywhere. And that'll kind of give you an idea to understand the different frequency speed between time and timelessness, because time is like a drop of water in the oceans of the world, right? And so what I came back with was an exercise that I've done for over, I'm now in my 30th year of doing this, and it's called peaking. And what peaking does is it changes the focus of your mindset from the outside to the inside. And when you change that focus from the outside to the inside, your mind, your brain is no longer receiving that outside frequency of fear and chaos, but it's receiving the inside frequency of the divine everythingness, that euphoria, that love, that laughter, and abundance. It's kind of like a light of God that goes into our minds, and it starts to dissipate that energetic sludge, that a lifetime of everything that we've built up. And so the peaking exercise literally takes your unconscious mind and spirit, and these are exact words of that allow us to become vulnerable, allow us to become honest with ourselves. And when we become vulnerable and honest with ourselves, what it does is it opens up that timelessness channel, that timelessness portal, where your unconscious mind and spirit that goes into that timelessness place. And from that place, you are literally told, literally the words of God speak through you. And I've done over 20,000 of these peakings over now in my 30th year of doing it, and no two are ever the same. No two are ever the same, because what the peaking is meant to do is to help evolve our perception into that deeper and deeper place, that totality of everything that God, the divine, is. And right now, for the very first time, that frequency is in the universe, okay? Now, I don't know how many of you are my favorite ancient wisdom text is a book called the Bible, and the last two chapters of the Bible are literally happening right now, Revelation 21 and 22, where the new heaven, the new earth, which is the timelessness that God is for the very first time, has come into our universe and is literally residing in our church. In other words, the Church of Eden, which just was as a result of Ahava in my 508c1A, came about as on April 15th of this year. But the frequency of God, is now in this universe for the very first time, and it's through our church. And it's kind of think of it as an evangelistic energy that flows through humanity, that makes us that totality of everything, that helps multiply that frequency into all of humanity. Through my experience, I had a really profound healing that happened to me. Like before I died, I used to suffer from something called grand mal seizures. I was taking two very heavy medications. I was taking Dilantin and Phenobarb. And I remember one night I had two grand mal seizures one night, and my tongue was numb for about 6 months, and my brain was completely clouded over and messed up. But I'm now into my 30th year, and I've never had any seizures. I've never taken any medications, Dilantin and Phenobarb. There are no limitations, and so that's why I came back. I came back to help people to escape from this monetary matrix that everyone is in. Everyone is enslaved by this monetary matrix, this dark force energy, and it's all intentionally meant to happen exactly the way it has, because of a cosmic trial that's happening in timelessness. But there's been a dark force energy that since the Garden of Eden has been controlling humanity and got them to the place that we're at right now. That's what's going to be broken. And my personal mandate for coming back was this: when 144,000 people on the planet before December 31st, 2031 become God in its totality, which includes an inheritance of $100,000 a year per person as a result of allowing God to work through us, for us to become God and for us to help others become God. That's when this dark force energy of fear, chaos, things called central banks, things called governments, things called artificial intelligence, that's when it's gone. And that's when our universe can become the totality of everything that every other parallel universe is, so that this multiverse body of God can literally birth itself. And so that's why I came back, and that's what we do. And now that everything from the church's perspective is in the jurisdiction of the proper jurisdiction of the 508c1A, I can say that over the last 2 months, this whole project is now moving at Godspeed. Things that would take me 2 weeks to write it right before, I'm now writing in an hour, right? And just on Friday, today's Sunday, just on Friday, we had 5 new coaches or internalization specialists come on board with us to begin their journey that begins with that God's inheritance of $100,000 a day or $8,300 a month. And we set it all up as Ahava is doing with you in the 508, so that $8,300 is an after-tax amount. But when 144,000 people are there and can 100% quantify this, like God is literally being quantified through our church because of the inheritance that's happening, as well as the other things such as health, such as relationships, such as everything, right? And so that's my mission, and that's why I came back. And I personally have waited over 29 years to be in this internship that I've been in to get me to this place, and so yeah, so that's my story. That's my story, and hope that parallels with where you're going, right? And the only one that knows if this is right for you is you. And the only way that you're going to know that is because it's going to feel right? It's going to feel right. If you try to understand what I'm saying from within your mind, you have a 0% chance of getting there. And the reason now you have a 0% chance of getting there is because you have had a lifetime, as has everybody, of that dark force energy limiting our minds. And within our minds, what it's doing is it's kind of squeezing us and making it tougher and tougher and tougher for us to survive. So breaking the monetary matrix is something that resonates with you, then great. So That's all I had to say.
Wow.
Ask them if they have any
Do
questions.
you have any questions?
Ask them how they can join. They can join underneath me, and then how it works. Tell them how it works. They want to know. Everybody. Antoinette was asking me today. She's on here right now.
Oh, okay. Hi, Antoinette.
Yeah, I
And-
said
and-
maybe
and-
tell everybody
and
how it
so,
works. Like, how do you get?
everything is done within the church environment. It's a monthly $129 donation. That's it. That's everything. I provide everything. I've 30 years. Everything is set up from a marketing perspective. We provide the leads. I have hundreds of leads that come in on a regular basis, and they're
Okay.
set out into my coaches, and we've got the script in place, and people are just coming on board, right? So.
Since I know a lot more about it than everybody else, that basically, so 129, but that gets you 4 coaching sessions a month, right?
Yeah, you're gonna have.
So it's like $30 a session. That's a great value for. It's better than therapy. You get to talk to God.
It is God. Yeah, the benefits of it are incredible. And after that, within the first month, you're going to have 4 new clients, which is going to offset your $129 because you're going to have $129 revenue from that. And then after that, as you scale the model out and your team grows, it's going to grow significantly.
But tell them how many people once they're coached, they're actually responsible for discipling or coaching per month.
Yeah, and that I should have cue cards or something here for you to tell me what to say. Now, the time commitment for internalization specialist or spiritual mindset coach is 5 hours a week, just 5 hours a week. So that 5 hours includes the hour that you are having through this peaking session as God is growing your experience, plus the hour that you're going to be working with 4 students. You're only going to be working with 4 students. So with us, you're wearing 2 hats. You're wearing a hat as a student, growing yourself, and you're wearing a hat as a specialist, helping others grow. But it's only a 5-hour-a-week commitment of 168 hours in a week, and certainly within the calendar year, usually around the 6th or 7th month is when you are literally banking that $8,300, and what it ends up being is a ROI, return on investment or return on influence, of over 6,400% on a monthly basis, right? Like, what's a bank pay now? Maybe 2-3%. Well, this is like a 6,400% return on investment to you, and so that's why I came back, right? And so it's been really exciting to just see the people that are coming on board.
Can I share something else?
Sure.
I just realized, okay, some of these companies, like network marketing companies, like Jeannie's a top person in Numi. So my girlfriend Cheryl, she's top person in 7K and patches in the light wave. And a lot of these people are way high up in these companies, right? They're going to get their 508. But in their contract, they're not supposed to do any other businesses, right? But you're only working with, what does Jesus say? We're supposed to be disciple making, guys. Jesus did it with 12. I was all excited when he told me, oh, all you have to work with, Ahava, at the beginning you said 12. I'm like, good number. It was Christ's number. Let's do 12. Compared like what I'm normally dealing with coaching and helping people, that's nothing, right? But then he comes in and goes, oh, no, you're only gonna do like 5 hours a week now. So you have more time to go and do your other ministry stuff. I was like, wow, what a concept, because I'm always having 911s and running, right? Like, since you see me, it's like, you're too busy.
And you have to have this.
But
You
no,
have
but
to
I'm
have
excited.
Your God inheritance of $100,000.
So we make a
Everyone has to have
schedule,
that.
right? And this is putting God first, because you're putting ourselves first. In other words, we're putting one of the hours out of the 4 is coaching ourselves or submitting to be coached, right? Or to just be in God's presence.
To evolving your personal perception into that deeper and deeper place. And the amazing thing about the peaking is that when you have evolved your place to wherever it is that God wants you to have right now, that's who you become from a consciousness perspective. So you are always evolving your consciousness into that greater and greater awareness of everything that God is.
So then the cool part is I came in and messed up his life, and now he's at church, and I'm saying, but we have to do more besides peaking. Now we have to play with other peaking partners. so we can practice, right? I mean, you can't get really better at all this stuff that you're doing in your peaking session unless you have other people to play with. So and people are lonely. They are so lonely out there. They call me half the time, just, ministry stuff. My husband, I broke up, or boyfriend, or mom died. So bad things happen, right? I was telling him how we met is my son actually said, "Mom, you need to at least get a part-time job. You work for everybody for free." So when I saw his ad, he gets coaches off advertising. I was one of them. And I said, "Oh my gosh, I do this for free for people all day long." And my husband and my kids are all excited because I actually can get blessed for my time. But with the way, I like the kingdom quantum thinking he's saying, because it's residual, just like Numi and 7K and all these other things that I love. I love Numi, I love 7K, I love c1A, I love all these different things I'm in. But I want to do God full time.
And
I told Jeannie, I said, I'll send you people all day long that I get in the God business or 508 with me, and then I'll send them over to sign up for Numi. But I want to stay teaching what I want to teach. And the beauty of this, when he said, I want to call it Eden Church, which is good because it's back to the beginning, right? So what Antoinette and I made was Thy Kingdom Come, which is education platform, which for all the people who don't have any idea what we're talking about, it's like go over to tkc.network, get educated, what's gone on to this point of why you need this 508, why you need to change your passport, why you need to come to the kingdom of heaven. People have actually asked me that before. Well, if I leave the system, where do I go? To the Garden of Eden. Where is that?
And
the Church of Eden. Go register, and then register for all these things that we have to bring you.
And I want to say that God's frequency is a triad. It is the frequency of God, Jesus, and Eden, Eden. Okay, that's the totality of everything. It's like a
Cut off.
Well, thank you so much. I have to wrap up this call. We're past an hour.
Okay, sweetie.
So, JC, how do people get a hold of you if they want to know more about peaking?
Well, our website is thechurchofeden.life, Life, and there's a link on there that you can just book a time that's good for you, and it would sync in with one of our coaches, right? We have
Which I am one of the coaches.
we're
Oh,
approaching
good, good.
40
Okay.
coaches now.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
great.
But none
Well,
of the
thank you
other
so much
30
for joining
coaches
us.
made him change his whole paradigm.
Yeah, I know there's so much, it's overwhelming.
It-
When I first saw this, I was mind blown, but I've seen it,
But
not
it-
what you're doing, but what Ahava's doing now. And
It all fits
I-
though, Jeannie. It all fits
It's
so perfect.
it's all God. It's all God.
Well,
It's
it
all
is.
it's all meant to get out
everything's a
of.
divine
It's like a puzzle piece. And
It's
it
all
just-
meant to get out of the monetary matrix of enslavement that everybody is in.
Yes.
That's what
and
it's
I'm
all
all
about.
for that.
And we
Beautiful.
want to have joy. We want to have love. We want to do creative things and help each other. The world jobs, just over broke jobs, JOB,
Yeah.
they don't bring joy. I mean, if they really cared
you
about
get
it.
ahead, and you can't really do ministry if you're too busy.
That's the
working
whole
with
point. That's exactly what I
8
said to
12
him.
hours
I've
a
done
day.
all
There's
these.
no leverage.
I've
Jobs
done.
are not for me.
I've done
Beautiful.
all the network marketing things trying to figure out how to fund so I could serve God full time, and this is it. So that's why I said, JC, let's do it.
And it's all God led.
It's
All I can
combo.
say is it's all God led, and your barometer is going to be how you feel. You're going to
Absolutely.
feel and know this is right for you, and if you don't, it's not right for you.
Yeah.
Right? If you try to process what certainly what
Excuse me.
I'm saying in your mind, you'll never be able to. Okay,
Right.
it's about what you feel and know.
You have to get out of your head.
Yes,
Absolutely.
that's the whole point of the
Absolutely.
peaking part is to get out of your head so that you can hear God.
Exactly.
And then you, I want to do this. Oh, okay, we can help you with all these things to graduation. Then at graduation through his course, after graduation, they get the 508. And here's why, because they have to be healed before they go do ministry. If we try to do the ministry before we're healed, we're doing everything backwards.
And just to give you an idea, I have 2 coaches who got their 4 clients within the first week. Like what we're saying is
It's true.
is that you're going to have them within the first month, right? But
Well-
I've got 2 that, in fact, Ammon, who was here the other day, he got 2 on Friday.
So Jeannie, if you want to be a coach, you can, and tell them how much you can
I
make.
do not. I'm
Okay.
sorry, I have my focus.
It's
Everyone
okay.
has their focus.
But
I
anybody
do
who
have to
might
end this
interest,
meeting.
let us
Okay,
know.
thank you
You
very much
guys-
for your time.
Thank you so much.
Peace and
Thank
love,
you for
guys.
joining us, everyone.
God bless you
Okay.
all.
Namaste,
Thank you for
namaste,
joining
everybody.
us. Have a great day. Aloha.
Aloha.
Thank
Much
you
love.
for putting this on, Ahava. I
Of
appreciate it.
course, we can do it every week if you want to do it at 3. That's fine. And then when
No, this was a one-time thing. So,
Okay.
Everyone else is going straight to you, and that's it.
Okie
because
dokie.
they let people know this is a one-time thing.
Okay,
I
but
have a lot
but
to
the
focus on.
classes will be once you are. That'll be every
Yes.
Sunday from 3 to 4, and that'll be once you've signed up. Then
Well,
you'll.
there's nobody on this call in Hawaii, so I'll have to get them that information on their time zone.
So it'd be so it according to
Okay.
the country. Yes, exactly.
Beautiful.
Yeah, exactly.
Peace and love,
And
guys.
this is why I'm moving. So.
No worries.
Okay.
Hello. God
Thanks,
bless.
thanks, guys.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Aloha, everyone.
Hello.
Okay,
Bye-bye.
Okay,
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, we're still on YouTube. You can ask if there's anybody on there live right now. You have 2 people still there. Are there? Oh, can't see.
Is that, is this,
I think Antoinette's on there, but
Antoinette, are you there?
she could text. She might be. Ask her if she's there.
Are you there, Antoinette?
Antoinette, if you're on, can you type in that you're on? Otherwise, well, if you have any questions before we sign off for the day for JC about peaking or about 508s or about anything, just please type it in. Otherwise, we're going to pray out and we'll wish you a great day.
Namaste, everybody. God bless.
God bless. Aloha. Take care. Peace and love.